Hello, everyone. Here I am with Millie and Caesar's Airedale Terrier litter. It is, what is today, June 11th, Wednesday, and these are Millie and Caesar's Airedale Terriers born on May 3rd, 2025, and they are about 5.5 weeks, and man, this litter has popped. Like, a lot of times they're just starting to pop at 5.5 weeks. That personalities and the, that terrier energy, and they're here, and there are loads of fun, that's for sure. They're keeping busy. So I am in today's video going to do a lot of talking. Saturday I will probably split this litter into boy and girl for that last video before picking, just so you can just make sure you're seeing like all boys and all girls. But since I have so much kind of explaining to do in this video, I'm going to just leave them all together, and I will try to stop periodically and point out who's who. Real quickly, I'll just say red, orange, dark green, lime green. Who do we got here? Black, yellow, gray, pink, tan, and blue. And I have purple right here. So before I get into all of this, first I want to explain, I'm going to do this video today. It'll be a long video, especially with 11 puppies. And then I will do another long video on Saturday. This is dark green right in front of me. And then we will kick off puppy picking in the order I received your deposits. I'll send you an email and walk you through all that. So what I'm going to do in today's video, I rank the puppies from most outgoing and energetic by male and most outgoing and energetic by female. To least. So 1 is my most outgoing, 5 is the most or the least outgoing, shy, quiet. So what does that mean? Well, what I always like to take the time to explain is these are all Airedale Terriers. They are all from the same parents. They are all going to share a lot of traits and qualities from being Airedales and from being siblings. They are all going to be a high energy breed. They're going to have that just Airedale character that's just so humorous and funny and human-like and smart and sometimes frustrating. They're going to share all those qualities. But under the umbrella of being an Airedale come a lot of individual personalities. And if you are somebody that's had lots of Airedales in your life, or even more than 3, I would say, you probably get this. Maybe more than 2, but I feel like you don't really start getting it until you've maybe had more than 3. If you've only had 1, or you've only ever met one in your life and you're like, oh, I'm looking for a dog to be just like that one, it's more than likely not going to happen that way. There's going to be tons of similarities, and you're going to be watching going, oh, so-and-so did this, and oh, yeah, that's totally an Airedale thing. But you're not. They have their own personalities. And you kind of can predict, and we've gotten pretty good. This is why I rank the puppies the way I do. I feel like we've gotten pretty good at describing them to kind of somewhat describe what they're going to be as adults. But at the same time, just like kids, you really don't know what they're going to end up. So keep that in mind. Why do I rank from most outgoing and energetic to least? What does that mean? So my most outgoing puppies, they're usually kind of the ones that started being more outgoing even in last week or the week before video. They usually get going before everybody else does. And usually they end up being that way as adults. They're a little bit more keyed up, a little bit more energetic and outgoing and independent. And a lot of times they have alpha qualities, those more outgoing ones as puppies. So that's something to keep in mind. If you do have another alpha dog at home and you're kind of worried about that, I would tend to stay away from those more outgoing and energetic ones, or at least be very aware that that's a possibility. Just be aware. Oh, you like a bully rubs dark green, huh? Do you like that? The least outgoing, the quieter and shy ones, which, again, these are Airedales. There's no such thing as like a shy, quiet Airedale. But there's in comparison to other breeds of dogs, there's definitely Airedales that are more laid back than others. I've had many of them. And they a lot of times present themselves as very shy. Sometimes they look scared puppies. And people a lot of times are kind of worried about picking those puppies because they're like, oh, I want to make sure that this is an Airedale and they're going to play and be confident. Oh my word, don't worry 2 seconds about that. I promise you, you're going to get that more than you ever desired. These terrier puppies, they are going to be that way. Another thing to just comment on is I'm trying to describe what I see in the puppies all the time, not just what I see in today's video. Puppies, like all of us, have moods. They have on and off days. They're tired sometimes. So sometimes you have a puppy that maybe isn't, quote unquote, like performing in the video very well. This is Red, by the way. And a lot of times kids especially are like, oh, I really enjoyed watching, Pink as she's just playing away with the ball the whole time. Well, that was one little 10-minute clip of her life. And just keep in mind, they all are going to be playful, outgoing, energetic Airedales. So don't, and obviously there comes a point where you're like, well, I have to pick. So what am I supposed to go on? So if somebody catches your eye in the video, that makes perfect sense. But I'm just trying to explain that just because there's maybe one that looks more fun than others in a video, they're all going to be playful, outgoing. Look at you. That's like a picture. Look at you sitting there. So nice. Airedales. That's purple there. So let's see. I think that talks about all of that. So I'm going to tell you my ranking. I'm not going to lie. This litter has been tough for me to rank. I feel like they're all really similar, which is a good thing. That's actually one of our goals in breeding, is to breed really nice, even-tempered puppies and not have such like extreme personalities. But it really was a tough one for me to rank. A few of them were easier than others, but a lot of them are very similar. And in a way that should make things in a way easier for you, knowing that there's not massive differences that I can really point out in personality with this litter. Okay, so let's start with the 6 boys. So again, my number 1 is the most outgoing. Probably no surprise, just based on his behavior. Blue is my number 1. But I did have a hard time identifying who is my most outgoing. He's not going to cooperate, are you? Come here, look at the camera. You're not gonna? You're a little camera shy? You got an eye booger. Let me get that. Say hi. So this is Blue. Let's see. I might just say it and then I'll find him and elaborate more. So I got Blue is number 1. Dark green is number 2. Light lime green is number 3. Tan is number 4. Gray is number 5. Black is number 6. So I already showed you Blue. Number 2 is dark green. And where are you? As you've seen, he is a really social puppy. He is, a lot of times is the one that comes over to like get a little pat. He likes belly rubs. He's kind of interesting because a lot of times those really people-oriented puppies, a lot of times are kind of more the quieter ones. So he's got that kind of mix of being pretty outgoing, but he likes a good belly rub. He likes people. So he's a good boy. So number 3, I have his lime green. See, I think they run from me when they hear lime green. Come here. Come here, Buster. Here's lime green. Say hi. You're all settling down now. We brought you out. Everybody was bonkers. And let's see, 4, I have his tan. Here he is. Here's 4. Number 5 is Gray. I think he's laying back there, which is usually my quieter ones are usually laying down away from me. Here's Gray. And Black. And Black is probably the only one in the litter that I would genuinely say, look at his, doesn't he have a cute face, that I would honestly say is pretty, in general, pretty quiet and sometimes shy. So he is really, I would say he's going to be your laid back Airedale in the litter. He's going to very much stick to that role. And you can ask me more about that if you're curious. But again, people are always a little bit intimidated, like, oh, he looks scared. I'm just telling you, 20-some years of experience, that's the way that the more laid back adult Airedales present themselves as puppies. That's just the way they look. Okay, so that was the males. And one more time, blue is number 1, most outgoing. Dark green is number 2. Lime green is 3. Tan is 4. Gray is 5. Black is 6. But I still got to throw in that caveat. Sometimes I really hold to those numbers when people are asking me, and I'm like, yeah, no, this one is definitely the most outgoing. And this one is, and other than black, is a very clear number 6. Honestly, these guys float back and forth for me. They're a very even-tempered litter, which is really awesome because, like, they were all, as you saw, jumping around like crazy. Now they're all settling down real good. So that's a great thing for all of you. So females, I have red as my number 1 most outgoing. Pink is number 2. Orange is number 3. Purple is number 4. And yellow as number 5. So let me go through those. Where's red? Here's pink. Where's red? Where is red? Here she is. Red is right here. You getting tired back here? Let me zoom in. There we go. Here, come out here. Yeah, there we go. There we go, lady. Here's red. Lime green. Purple. Here is pink, my number 2. She's very similar to our male number 2. She is a checker inner with me. Likes people, and now she's gonna run away. Likes people. So does purple. She's kind of in lime green. I feel like the ones that are in my lap right now, I'm always kind of pushing back. Okay, so orange is number 3. Hi. Beautiful litter, puppies in this litter. I just keep looking at their faces, loving them. I like the shape of their faces. 4 is purple. Hi, Lady Lou. And 5 is yellow. And while yellow, where is yellow? Here she is. While yellow is not maybe quite as quiet as black, I would say she falls into this role pretty well as well, to be a pretty probably laid back Airedale. Everybody's going to sleep. And this is why I try to do multiple videos. There's blue because I might have just caught them all on nap time. Here's pink. Here's purple. So the other thing I liked, oh my goodness, look at blue. How funny, he's really falling asleep. The other thing I like to talk about is coloring. So Airedales come in black and tan and grizzle and tan. You honestly, you really don't know what they're gonna be until that adult wiry hair comes in. It's totally a shot in the dark. But for some people, it really matters. And I just want to point out, if you look at the brown on their face, like blue here, see how like his cheek is a little bit, and his eyebrows are a little bit kind of more, well, it actually looks pretty red in the camera, a little bit more blonder. And then when you look at like lime green here, it's all pretty dark. That's the only difference you can kind of go off of. Sometimes that holds true. It seems like the ones that have really dark eyebrows and faces, kind of that reddish, sometimes it seems like those stick to be more the black and tan, but it really is hard to say. And you can look at mom and dad and just imagine the mix of those two and what you'll come up with. But the other thing I like to talk about, another kind of unpredictable thing, is size. And people getting Lakelands and Welsh don't care so much about size. I feel like my Airedale people really care about size. A lot of you are either after, let me get rid of this. Here, I'll pour these out. You're either after the biggest puppy in the litter, or you're like, oh boy, I want a smaller sized Airedale. It seems like size is just hard to predict. It just is. I've seen little puppies that just keep growing and end up like little puppies and end up totally standard size. I've seen really big puppies. Most of the time, the really, really big puppies and the really, really small puppies tend to stay on the large or small end of the scale. But it's just hard to predict. But I recognize it's a real thing. So as I've been saying, gray and dark green are my big guys. Dark green is the biggest for sure. Gray is a close second. I think I'll do it by male and then by female. I just think my brain can process that a little better. Let's see. Of course, now all I'm seeing are girls. I would say, okay, scratch that. I might have to do by the litter because it's hard when they're all running around together. So gray and dark green, definitely the biggest. I've got a couple pretty good sized females. Pink is a pretty good sized female. Orange is smaller than her. Here's pink and here's orange. But, sorry, I was not looking at the camera. I was looking at the puppies. I hope I was doing a decent job videoing. And then after them, I would say blue is a pretty, like here's gray and here's blue. I know it's hard to tell. But I'd say blue is pretty good sized. And then lime green is pretty standard sized. Let's see. Did I already say orange is good sized? I'm kind of botching this up. I'm sorry. I should have done this before because it's really hard to video, clean up pee, and tell you sizes. So maybe I'll just go through and show you as I see. Okay. Yellow is probably my smallest of the litter. She's just really petitely built. Black is pretty petite as well. So yellow and black are probably my little petite ones. Tan is pretty average. Lime green is pretty average. I might have to go into size more on Saturday when I have the males and females separated because I'm struggling here right now at this moment. Purple is average, but kind of has maybe a petite frame, kind of. But honestly, okay, I'm way complicating this, and I apologize. Usually I'm a lot better at this. Wow, I'm at 17 minutes. All right, I'll pick this back up on Saturday. I'm sorry about that, everybody.